Why are there so many
glitches
in this fucking game?
What you thinking, Cap?
So Marvel's Avengers, the video game, has come out, and the world hates it. But I'm here to set the record straight. Nah, actually the game was fucking awful. But for this review, I will go into the things I actually liked about it first, because I surprisingly liked it a lot more than everyone else did. The lead character, Kamala Khan. She's fine. We meet her early on, before she even becomes Ms. Marvel, when she gets to visit the Avengers on A-Day, which is coincidentally the same day that they lose against Taskmaster. All of that was in the beta, so it's not spoilers, but I liked her, and the voice actress that is portraying this character does an alright job. It's just, this is, I guess, where one of my first issues started to arise. It's when we skip like 4 years or 5 years ahead. Doesn't that sound a bit familiar? And we skip 4 or 5 years ahead of time, and we don't even get to see her getting her powers and learning how to use them. By the time we get to her as when she's older, when she's more of a young adult, she's fucking perfect at her powers. And this game seems like it's trying to tell her origin story and introduce this new character into the Avengers, but it doesn't give us much time to develop her as a character, I guess. Like, the only thing that we have to latch onto her as a character is her relationship that she has with her father. But that's it. So it's because of that that, writing-wise, she felt kind of bland to me, very boring. Even though she was excited to be with the Avengers, and because we're Avengers fans as well, we're in the same boat as her, so we're sort of like going on this ride with her. We are her. It's just, as a character, she is lacking some serious character development and some, like, just, I wanted something, and there wasn't much, if anything, to care about her. When it comes to the Avengers, though, seen as we are essentially Kamala Khan, it was awesome seeing the Avengers sort of reassemble, because they don't just all, like, come together in one go. Like, they slowly come back together, one by one, and that was really cool. One of my favorite moments in the entire story is when Thor comes back. I am mighty! And this game heavily focuses on them sort of coming to grips with their losses. Also, very familiar. When it comes to Captain America's death in this video game, yeah, I knew he wasn't gonna stay dead. This is the first Avengers game of this universe that we're getting. They're not gonna kill off Captain America. Moving on to my next point, the story was thin. What I mean by this is that, as I said earlier, it very much focuses on the Avengers. And it focuses on them so much that the other story that this game is trying to tell is about in this universe, Inhumans have just been realized because of the events of A-Day. And you can say that it's kind of like Days of Future Past, in that mutants are being collected and put into these facilities and experimented on and stuff like that, and they have these robots that can adapt to their powers. That is the same thing here.
Those adaptoids, they've got inhuman powers!
But I felt like, seeing as it is so similar to that movie did it better, because it actually showed in detail the shit that they had to deal with. There is one scene between a side character or an extra or whatever and Kamala Khan, right? Both Inhumans, and this Inhuman has just sort of lost all hope because his mother is captured in one of these AIM facilities. And it felt like a lot of the time that these tragedies that were being done on a day-to-day basis to these superpowered people, the Inhumans, it was just getting told to us. It was never showed to us. Like, all we got to see, really, when it came to Inhumans being captured in this facility, was them escaping. We never actually got to see in detail, like, why is this world so shitty? What makes this world so shit to live in? The design of this game is very glossy and clean. It never feels like a gritty, grounded, world that it's telling you it is. We also barely get any explanation or reason for as to why the villain, MODOK, actually hates Inhumans, or superpowered people in general.
You don't understand!
Yeah, exactly, because your game won't tell us why. Alright, so, the voice actors weren't noticeable. What I mean by this is that the voice cast for this video game was Nolan North, Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, and Jennifer Hale. The roles that these actors are given, they don't stand out. The voice work in this video game and the direction that they're given is so forgettable. Troy Baker is like one of the, like we all know, he's one of the best voice actors acting today, and I don't know, his performance as Bruce Banner was so bland and boring. I mean, the only one that was really noticeable to me was Nolan North as Tony Stark. I honestly liked him as Tony Stark. He fits that character really well. But everyone else, I looked it up because I was interested into, you know, who was possibly playing the characters for this game. And then when I found out, like, you had, like, someone like Troy Baker in the game, I don't know what happened there. Next, the campaign plays too much like multiplayer. Okay, I'll be honest, I liked playing as the Avengers, right? I liked playing as these characters. Each Avenger, even Kamala Khan, they play very differently. They have their similarities, like when Thor flies and Iron Man flies, it's very similar, but it feels different. So they have their similarities, but they also have their differences, and that made it more fun to jump between all these different characters and having to learn their skill sets and their abilities was fun to me. One thing I've never enjoyed in a video game is training modes. And I, for the first time, actually liked the training modes in this game because I got to learn about the characters' abilities and their moves and everything like that. But when it came to the campaign, it was fun for a while, but then it started doing something weird. At this point in the game, Hulk and Kamala Khan, or Miss Marvel, had to embark on a mission to find Tony Stark. And I came across this, in which I had to stand in the circle and stay in that circle in order to complete that mission. It took me 2 or 3 goes to finally realize this, but it was so disorienting because it is a campaign, and campaigns usually don't have you do that. That's usually a multiplayer thing. But more and more multiplayer modes started to appear in the campaign, and this time around you had to jump between A, B, and C locations in order for Jarvis to hack their servers. And if someone else, like an enemy, went into that area, they would then hack it and it would be theirs. So you had to go back, kick them out of it, defeat that enemy, and stay in there in order for the Avengers to get 100% of the hacking progress. That is not how you do a fucking campaign for a video game! This was the breaking point for me. Also, the glitches and bugs, as I joked about when I opened the video, I mean, this is ridiculous. Sometimes a character will just, like, load into a scene, which isn't that bad. But when you're actually trying to play the game and experience the story, and it keeps fucking lagging, like, there was one mission where I was playing as Iron Man and I had to infiltrate a satellite. It completely fucking froze. So even though I really wanted to love this game, and even though there were things that I did like about it, the majority of this game has a lot of problems. There's only very few things in this game that I actually enjoyed. Anyway, that is my review for Marvel's Avengers. Please do check out my playlist for all Avengers reviews. This exists to collect all of my Avengers reviews that don't necessarily take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I will one day hopefully review Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is a show that I grew up on, and I love it, so keep an eye out for those, for any future Avengers reviews that will be implemented into the playlist. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.